Hi, I think one of the common ways to deal with stress that people do is watch a good movie. I think that is a given thing, right? But I guess very few people watch meaningful movies. When I say meaningful movies, movies that have real life lessons in it that we can reflect on ourselves, our lives, and take some lessons that can practically make us implement certain worldviews, certain life lessons, right? So I want to share in this video 5 films that can help you transform whatever stress that you're going through right now, whether it is the hangover stress of COVID and the atmosphere that created, or whatever it is, into meaningful things, meaningful values that you can implement in your life, right? So this is not in any order, just films that have really inspired me, and I learned a lot from these films. First one is Shawshank Redemption. Pretty obvious, right? I watched this film, I guess, 7, 8 years ago. I think this is the best film that has like a lot of life values in it, life lessons in it. I think the highlights are about hope, persistence, and this character Andy Dufresne went through worst thing that a person can go through, right? Probably when you're put down by law, authority, which is something that is supposed to protect you, then where can you go, right? And he's put into prison, and corruption and all this happens, which is something that is completely out of his control. He can completely go mad and stuff, but he really shows this resilience. I think resilience is one of those things that one can really take out from this character Andy Dufresne from this film, because he really just tries to have all that stress and anxiety in him and not let that damage himself. No self destruction, no self damage. He really tries to see a way, right? And hope is always there with him, and he tries to see a way to come out of this situation, this fate that he has been thrown into by life. And in fact, all his anger, right? He could have been a different kind of person. He could have really become angry at the society, started being violent with other people, other inmates in the prison. But actually, what happens is other people, right? They are violent towards him, and he just tries to protect. He's just trying to live his own life and try to be calm and help people and stuff. He's just reflecting on the changes that has happened in his life and unfortunate things that has happened in his life. But the best part is how he deals with it. He just he just deals with it in a way that can really bring out the best for him in the future, right? Not impulsively doing something, just emotionally deciding something impulsively to just sabotage his life completely. But he really just takes up all these fates that life throws at him, and then just gradually plans to get out of this prison. Okay, there's one scene that I want to share where this old person who has been there in the prison, I think, for 50 years, and when he comes out of the prison, the world is completely changed and he's finding it difficult to adapt, right? And I realized, now when I think about it, people can be so much identified with a worldview that can really stop them from growing further. They're so comfortably accustomed to a certain worldview. What is a worldview? For example, if they are in the habit of seeing this world as a place of all cheaters, everybody's cheating and lying, and there's no real love in this world. If you see the world from that view, I think almost everybody will be like that towards you, and you'll be just left alone. Whereas on the other side, if you have the lens of a person who can see even good in others, which is not easy, of course, then you see all good, right? So this is just an example of how we can just be comfortable in our own belief and really not try to break uh, certain patterns of our mindset. So when this person just comes out of the prison, this is very difficult because, of course, this is like a huge change. This is probably the most difficult thing that a person can get adapted to. But really, if it is not that difficult in our lives, relevant to us? Are we that adaptable to change? Right? Are we just flowing with the change? Are we just too rigid on holding on to our ways of wanting things from life? So I can keep going on with Shawshank Redemption. Really a beautiful film. If you've already watched it, probably years ago, it is worth watching again. Okay, I want to go to the second film, which is 127 Hours. It's about this. I want to share self-reflection. I don't know how you relate to this. Yeah, let me make this clear. He records videos every time, right? Which is very important to notice because there is a lot of physical pain that he's going through. He, in fact, cuts off his arm, right? He amputates his arm, but beyond all that physical pain, the pain of being left alone, uh, I think that psychological pain is more painful in a way, at least when he's not cutting his arm, right? So he's recording himself in the video cam, and that is like this real self-talk. Because just think about it, if you're in that position when you're talking to this webcam, back at the back of your head, things like, if you get out of this place, how will you view this recording later? You'll be proud of yourself. You'll be like, a great example to a lot of people. So it's like a lot of self motivation, instant self motivation happening subconsciously. Probably is an inspiring scene when he cuts himself off, because obviously, it's better to continue living this life with one arm less than to completely go lifeless and then just giving up on life. So that is again another beautiful film that I would recommend you to watch. The third film that I want to share is Anbe Sivam. I think it roughly translates into Love is God or God is Love. Um I think it means the same. Yeah. So this film, what an amazing acting by Kamal Hassan. Of course, what an actor. And this film really, I just want to have one word: compassion. Right? Like just whatever forgiving nature and compassion that this character shows towards the dog, be it the dog, because the dog does not know anything about, the consequences of uh, crossing the road and then the bus falling down. A lot of people are injured and death happens. And a lot of people, what they do, they throw stones at the dog and they say this is like a cursed dog. This should be killed and stuff like that. But uh, and this person who um who has a lot of compassion in himself, he the dog and him become friends, and he understands that this dog is just, it is no there's no point blaming the dog. So it's really about compassion. I just want to keep it short so that you can watch the film again. It is worth watching. So Anbe Sivam is my third film, and I want to share the fourth film, which is The Matrix. One highlight from this film is this scene where a lot of people are passing by this main character. What's his name? Okay, I'll just call Keanu Reeves for now. So when this lead character is just walking and a lot of people pass by, and he gets distracted with a woman in a red dress. So this can be directly compared to a lot of distractions that we have in the online space right now. We might have clear goals, but when we try to progress towards our goals, there can be a lot of distractions that can draw us. Even when we, at that point, we might not realize that we are deviating from our goals and wasting time, whatever it is, right? But this can happen. It is pretty easy. This is a very distracted world that we're living in right now. And a lot of other lessons from this film. Also, one interesting thing is that a lot of spiritual organizations, uh, at least a lot that I know, even the leaders of spiritual organizations watch this film, because this film talks. There are spiritual elements from this film like illusion, Maya, and all that stuff. So Deep Stuff is really a good film to watch, Matrix, and the last film that I want to share is Inside Out. The highlight from this film that I want to share is how important it is to really bring out whatever that is weighing us down inside. Right? Towards the end, when this child cries, there is this few seconds, this moment where the child and the father just hug each other and then just cry. This child has an exhalation, like a sigh of relief that something just dropped off. Okay, fine, I'm just getting adapted to change. I miss my old school and friends, but right now I have to get adapted to this. But sometimes a lot of people, a lot of times, they just cover up certain things, clutters in their mind, whether it is some incidents in the past, things like that. They want to just forget it. I think that's an unnatural approach. To be honest, you you uh, you might forget a lot of things that might happen, but the experience that it gave you and the ways that your perception of life was influenced by a certain past incident is not something that can really go away from us, even though we might think that we got away from it, if you know what I mean. So this covering up of such forgetting and all that stuff doesn't really work. I think the best thing is to just face that. And as we grow in life, sometimes just this is important. That's why I think it's important to spend time alone every once in a while and reflect deep on ourselves. Because when we grow and we look back at the incidents that happened in our life, we can look at that from a new perspective, from a more mature perspective that can really help us look at the future in a more healthier way, right? So that is directly related. I just want to relate that to this um, this block that this girl has, right? Sadness cannot be kept aside. Sadness has to be brought in the front, and it has to be given some spotlight, whether it is by yourself or if it is better if it is by another person, because we are social animals, right? That is when healthily we can get past from our past. Okay, so okay, this video got a little longer than I imagined. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that if you haven't watched any of these films, just go back and watch them again. I love these films, and type in the chat box or comment box whatever you feel about these films and which is your favorite scene from these films. And before I see you in the next one, I just want to let you know, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, do subscribe, because I keep posting videos like this if you find this relevant, of course. And I want to also let you know that this coming Sunday I have a webinar titled 3 Secrets to Transform Your Stress into Productivity using the RAP routine model that I created. You'll know details when you click on the link below to register, right? So it's a free webinar. I would love to see you there live. If you're interested, hop in. I'll see you there. Okay. Until next time, stay resilient. Bye bye.